All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We had game one of the NBA Finals last night, and all I have to say is, how about them Pacers? Man, oh man, oh man. The Pacers walked into Oklahoma City, right? Oklahoma City, the overwhelming favorites to not only win this series, but most likely sweep the Pacers. And the 48-minute Pacers did it again. They played hard for 48 minutes. There were some mistakes. There were some bad things. There were also some really good things. And the Indiana Pacers got the first win of the NBA Finals, 111 to Oklahoma City's 110, off a huge shot, another clutch shot by Tyrese Halliburton. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about some things surrounding the game, some NBA wrap up sort of news that's been floating around the last couple of days since we last talked to now. So if you like what I say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment it down below. If you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So yeah, man, let's piggyback off Tyrese hitting another game-winning shot, and then obviously we're gonna start at the beginning, go through some of the stats. We'll see if this video is gonna be short. Might be a little long. We'll see how it goes. Um, to talk about Tyrese hitting another game-winning shot, um, let's talk about some numbers here, right? So I have a stat right here. This is the stat for the most go-ahead or game-tying field goals in the finals in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter slash overtime since 1997, since they started, I guess, recording the stat. Right, this is in the playoffs. Tyrese Halliburton has five of them. He's only 25 years old. Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, former Pacer, has five of them, and arguably the GOAT, LeBron James, has eight. So at 25 years old, Tyrese Halliburton is already up there with those guys for the most go-ahead or game-tying field goals in the final 5 seconds of fourth quarter overtime in the playoffs since 1997. A crazy stat. It was a crazy stat when I read it, and then somebody commented he's only 25, and that blew my mind even more. Because I was like, damn, only 25, and he's only been in the playoffs. Yeah, he's only been in the playoffs a few times, so man, oh man, the things he could do in the next 5 years. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. Um, I have some notes here. I actually took some notes. I did miss the first quarter of this game. I had some other stuff to take care of, but I the first quarter wasn't what you need to watch when you watch the Pacers. You need to watch these last couple minutes of the game because I have deemed this Pacers team the 48-minute Pacers because you have to play this Pacers team for 48 minutes or you lose the game. And that's what Oklahoma. That's what happened to Oklahoma. Um, I was on Twitter and I kept seeing it kept getting like closer to like the end of the game, and it wasn't very clear the Pacers would try to really win the game to the last 2 minutes, literally. Oklahoma played a great game for 46 minutes, and in those last 2 minutes, after was it Andrew Nemhard hit a clutch three that started the avalanche of the Pacers shots and calls in their favor and everything. They what am I trying to say here? The Pacers continually do this, and again, I saw some stuff on Twitter where fans of other teams, who they play. Let's see who they play. Um, Milwaukee fans, Cleveland fans, New York fans kept they were little like tweets that I saw that like, oh, here come the Pacers. We tried to warn y'all, y'all being Oklahoma City Thunder fans. They're not. They're for real. Don't underestimate them. And Oklahoma underestimated them. And to Oklahoma's credit here, because we are going to talk a lot about the Pacers, but we do need to talk about the Thunder. The Thunder played a great game, not individually, but as a team. Collectively, as a team, they played a good game. Jalen Williams didn't have a good game. Um, Chet Holmgren did not have a good game. If we can just look at the stats, I haven't pulled up. That's why I haven't pulled up. Chet Holmgren, 6 points. They're unacceptable and unacceptable in the finals. Unacceptable, unacceptable. Jalen Williams, who I thought through the course of the game played well. He had 17 points. The stat sheet doesn't say he played well, but throughout the course of the game, I feel like his shots were good. He shot 6 for 19 overall from field goal, only made 1 3. Through the course of the game, I felt he was really good. But I can see how some people would be a little disappointed with this performance. It is a game one. I will say, I caught the end of the first. Obviously, I watched the rest of the game. Everybody seemed kind of nervous because this is both teams' first time in the playoffs, or pardon me, making this deep of a playoff run to the finals. There's some nerves, so I can't be mad at that. To top off some of these Thunder numbers here, 38 points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP. Um, we can talk about him and how he didn't hit. He didn't hit a shot at the end of the game. Lou Dort 15. You're not going to get a Lou Dort 15 every night, but I would take a Chet Holmgren 20 game over a Lou Dort 15 game any day. Kason Wallace 6 points. The man off the bench for Oklahoma was Alex Caruso, who was a demon, who was an absolute demon, just running amok on defense. He had 2 blocks and 3 steals. It felt like he had 5 blocks and 5 steals, and like so many more deflections and like game altering defensive plays. He tipped a ball out off a rebound, and this was a story for a lot of the game. Again, the 46 minutes that the Oklahoma City Thunder played were great. They were beating Oklahoma to all the loose balls. They were getting all the tip outs. They were getting all this amazing stuff, right? That you would ideally want in a finals game, where these are the components I talk about when trying to win a championship. It's health, luck, and you play well. We play well enough as a team. An individual player doesn't, unless it's a do or die situation. The individual player doesn't have to play well. They can play okay. If you're just okay and the rest of the team is up to their level, you're gonna win. But the component of luck they had this game one last night was insanely well because they just worked hard for it. It was hard earned luck in the sense of going for the loose balls, getting the tip in, again the tip outs to force another possession, force at least just to look at the basket again and not have Indiana run it the other way. And I just found it so fascinating that the Pacers did it again. They did it again. And I'm gonna give you some numbers here, okay? Um, there's a little screenshot I have here. The Oklahoma City Thunder led the game 108 to Indiana's 99 with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left. This is before Andrew Nembhard took that three that I talked about earlier. This is before that. And then it has the screenshot under it is the clock's at 0-0 and Indiana has won the game 111 to 110. In those 2 minutes, and I haven't stressed this enough. Or I haven't said this at all. The Pacers never led in this game till the end. Right to the end. The Pacers didn't get down on themselves. The Pacers were like, oh, they're the better team. We're supposed to lose. The Pacers said, and Pascal Siakam, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, said this when they were in the tunnel when they were walking. Obviously, they had a camera on them. Pascal said, we didn't even play well. We didn't even play well, And they didn't. The Pacers played terribly, But they worked hard, man. This is this is a blue collar team, man. This is put your hard hat on, move the steel beams, Your wife packs you a pastrami sandwich that you hate. This is a hardworking team. um, but let me find some stuff here um before we move on to the Pacers numbers because there's a lot here that can be talked about. Um, Halliburton not even being in a rhythm is something fascinating. In the case of he can play poorly, right? This is very, very odd. One of the oddest things I've ever seen. Somebody else comment. A bunch of people have been commenting on. It's been in the zeitgeist of this NBA Finals and coming up to this Finals, and we'll talk about the Finals. We'll talk about something else about the Finals in a second here. I have thoughts all over the place right now. But to continue the thought on Tyrese is that he can play so like just okay, Like tonight, he had 14 points, or last night, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't even do what he does best, which is pass the rock. Didn't even do what he's supposed to do out there, right? He had 1 block on the game. He was 6 for 13 from field goal, 2 of 7 overall from 3 in 39 minutes. That didn't bother him. I'm going to speak sort of um, coy here, sort of playfully. The Pacers didn't really care that he didn't play well. It mattered that he made the last shot. He made the shot at the end. He made the shot at the end. Before we get into the other stats, let me break this down for you here real quick. Let's talk about the last shot since we're on Tyrese, and I do want to just try to articulate this this play here that happened. So the game is 9 seconds left, 9.1 actually in the fourth quarter, right? Oklahoma City's leading by 1 point, 110 to the Pacers 109, right? It's a missed shot. Pascal secures the rebound. He passes it to Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's by the 3-point line by the Paycom Center logo with 7.3 left. He gives it to Tyrese. And this was something else that I've never experienced this in my life. With 5.6 seconds left, Tyrese is about to cross the half court line, right? And I'm watching this. And I'm watching it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, they're moving kind of slow. Are they going to get a shot off? Are they going to? And Rick Carlisle, Pacers coach, didn't call a timeout. Didn't call a timeout. He trusted his guy, Tyrese. Tyrese passes the half court line, right? He's at the Oklahoma City Thunder logo, 4.7 left. Kason Wallace on him. You got Nembhard in the corner. You got Pascal sprinting to the corner. You have, I can't even tell who that is. Somebody coming up to set a screen, a ghost screen, I presume, is what it turned into. And then you have Toppin at the top. And Tyrese goes towards the Pacers bench, driving on the far side of the floor. And you think, oh, he's going to try to go for the three. Because that's what a lot of teams do now. They go for the three. They want to go for the bang. They want to go for the shot that would really put it out of reach. But the timing of it was so perfect because he just drives past the 3-point line, just goes right past it, stops, pops with his awkward ass jumper, because he has an awkward ass jumper, stops, pops, raises up, and hits a 2-point shot instead, giving them the 111 final score and the Oklahoma City Thunder 110. And it only left Oklahoma with 1.3 left. And to just quickly talk about Oklahoma again. When I saw that they had 0.3 left, right, I said to myself, I don't think there's anybody on this team that can get a shot off in 0.3 seconds. I don't think there is. Given that Jalen Williams didn't have a good game, Chet Holmgren was out of the game at this point. He was benched. He hadn't even made a three this game. And even though his jumper is a bit what's it called? His follow through is just way too long to get it off in 1.3. His arms are too long. It's gonna take too long for him to get it up. Lou Dort, I'm not putting the game winning shot in Lou Dort's hands. Kason Wallace didn't even make a three, right? Isaiah Hartenstein, you could maybe theorize, hey, you could go for a lob, try to get it in, and just throw it at the rim and hope Isaiah Hartenstein can go up there and throw it in. Hopefully, we've seen that before in the playoffs with DeAndre Ayton in the Phoenix series against the Clippers. This was a few years back. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, they have the MVP, right? The MVP should be able to get a shot off, right? And then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, that's not how SGA operates. SGA likes to get at least 1-2 dribbles in and then pull up. So he's going to have to, and they said this on the broadcast too, you're going to have to catch and turn and fire, or just catch and fire. And SGA tried to one up Tyrese, and Shea, he got into the elbow, he got right near the paint, and he didn't hit it. It wasn't he wasn't comfortable in that moment, and that's not to say he can't make a clutch shot, but it was so situational and just the right circumstances to be like, There's not enough time for him to dribble it. There's not enough time for it to be anything else but a catch and fire. The Pacers played it beautifully. It would have been even more beautiful if if Oklahoma couldn't even get a shot off, but they had the 0.3. But it didn't even matter. Um, and the last thing I'll say about Tyrese here, um, after he hit the shot, the go-ahead shot to get the lead. Um, Richard Jefferson, former player, on the broadcast said, he's not afraid of the moment. He is the moment, you know? And I was trying to think, Tyrese Halliburton doesn't have a nickname, right? He doesn't have a nickname. And, all the nicknames now are kind of boring, and this has been talked about. But like SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just an abbreviation for his name. It's not cool. You got Ant-Man or Ant, it's an abbreviation for um, Anthony Edwards, right? You get these occasional cool ones, right? Like the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just call him Freak or the Freak, Cool, great, nice, right? You got Karl Anthony Towns, call him Cat. That one's okay, it's cool because it's an actual word, just with it's cat with a K instead of a C. Um, but then you have the great ones like the Chef, Steph Curry. You got the King, LeBron James. I think Tyrese has a nickname, and I'm gonna coin it right now. So if you hear it, um, I came up with it first. Um, Tyrese Halliburton is the moment. He is the moment. Like Paul Pierce, the truth. You know, Tyrese Halliburton is the moment, and um, I've said it in every video, and I've talked about it to death. Um, he has ascended every time. Every time you think, oh, Oklahoma City Thunder's gonna sweep the Pacers. The Pacers are by every metric, the Pacers are the far inferior team, you know. But by the metric that you can't calculate, that you can't see on paper, you have to visually see. You've watched it through 3 rounds, and this is the fourth and final round of these playoffs. Pacers have heart, man. They've never given up. There might be a stretch where they just get the the they just get beat. They just get absolutely beaten in the alleyway, And they come right back up and they're like, you got more? And the Oklahoma City Thunder just didn't have that one bit more. And to talk about the other guys on the Pacers, I'm talking about the team. Pascal Siakam, 19, 1 of 2 from 3, 7-15 overall from field goal. Struggled a little bit. He was getting locked up by everybody, and he hit a couple good shots, but some of them were really bad. Some of them were really forced. Aaron Nesmith, 10 points, 3 of 7 from 3. That's a pretty average night for him. He could probably do a little bit better. Miles Turner had some really bad moments, but other times he looked really good. Um, he had 15, hit 2 threes. Andrew Nembhard again hit that really big 3 that I talked about at the top. 14 points, 2 of 6 from 3, 4 of 11 over field goal. And off the bench, Obi Toppin, 17 points. Thomas Bryant, 5. Let me see here. TJ McConnell, 1 steal, 9 points. Benedict Mathurin, 5. Ben Shepherd, 3. The one thing I will say about this game, and I'm not trying to say this is luck by any means, that the Pacers won this game. It did take an element of luck, but the preparation to be prepared for these moments cannot be understated. One thing I would like to see from the Pacers is a bit more player and ball movement, in the sense of when they got their best buckets, it was a drive and kick to another drive and a finish, or trying to go for the foul, trying to get the free throws, or another kick out, try to scramble the Oklahoma City Thunder, because the Oklahoma City Thunder had stretches, like 4 or 5 minute stretches, where they were making the Pacers work, and they would get shot clock violations. Um, they would turn the ball over, it would go out of bounds, just stuff like that. If the Pacers want to try to steal game 2, and if they steal game 2, then we're having a real conversation about the Pacers winning their first ever NBA championship. They've won 2 ABA championships before the merger. Those don't count really, but it would be their first NBA championship, and that'd be huge for them. Um, I think I think that's it. I do want to piggyback on something that I have screenshotted here, um, very quickly. Where did it go? Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I'm gonna read through some games here, right? I don't know which games these are, but these are just like screen grabs of scorecards of score bugs. Um, this is from who is this from? Oh, I don't even know who this is from. Okay. Oh, this is from Buckets. I don't know who that is. I'm unfamiliar with them, but they have this screen graphic, right? And we'll read off some games for you here. Milwaukee versus Indiana. Overtime, 33 seconds left. The Milwaukee Bucks are leading 118 to 111. The Pacers went on to win that game in the first round. Next game, Cleveland, the number one seed, leading 119 to Indiana's 112 with 48 seconds left. The Pacers won that game, round two. And the last one here, before last night's in Oklahoma, the Knicks led 119 with 2:39 left in the fourth quarter to the Pacers 105. The Pacers went on to win that game. So, again, I've dubbed this Pacers team the 48-minute Pacers because looking at this in this like little screen grab in this like I don't even know what to call it, just visualized is so crazy because man oh man, these Pacers don't give up. Um, let's talk about some other stuff here. Some stuff surrounding the NBA here for a second, and some rumors and stuff, and some things that have been said. Let me take a drink first. Hold on. So it came out before the game, this Pacers Oklahoma City Thunder game that see if I can find it real quick. That one of the I guess yeah broadcasters, yeah, um, Doris Burke. Um, let me find it real quick. Here we go. Yes, Doris Burke. Yes. Let me make sure I got my sources cited correctly here. Um, oh yes, okay. So this is from Andrew Marchand. Marchand. That's Marchand. Andrew Marchand. He is a athletic reporter, senior writer, sports coverage. Yeah, okay. He's reporting that ESPN, who is getting a huge bump in games and coverage and the way they cover the game next year because they've signed a new media. The NBA has signed a new media deal, and they're looking to shuffle things around. The presentation and everything's gonna be different next year, right? And Doris Burke is one of the broadcasters. The broadcasting booth at ESPN has been so weird and so um, such of a roller coaster recently. But this report came out before the game yesterday that Doris Burke's spot. Excuse me, pardon me. Hold on. Oh my God, excuse me. Let me repeat that. Doris Burke's spot is not guaranteed for next season, according to sources familiar with ESPN's preliminary plans. While Mike Breen and the Basketball Hall of Fame are under a long-term deal, is not going anywhere. It was reported later that Richard Jefferson is also not going anywhere. Um, ESPN will evaluate its entire roster. Now, Doris Burke has been the point of some contention and a point of some criticism because she was a better sideline reporter than a broadcaster. I remember watching games, um, the late 2000 teens, where she would do the sideline stuff, and she was great as a sideline reporter. And it was such a big deal that she became a broadcaster and sat beside Mike Breen and a bunch of other people. Um, and she was one of the first women to do it full time. And I feel like she's lost her fastball. She's not as she's I don't think she's as bad as some people think she is, but she's very biased with some teams. She has some really bad takes, and she's just like a broken record. And when you do this long enough, you do become a broken record. But you need to also have something interesting to talk about and be interesting yourself. And she's just not interesting enough. Um, Long gone are the days of Mark Jackson and Stan Van Gundy, or Jeff, pardon me, Jeff Van Gundy, who, looking back, people in the moment hated that duo. They hated that duo. They're like, oh, these guys suck. And then looking back about 5 years, 6 years later, like that wasn't so bad. So you don't know what you have till it's gone. I will say I used to be a Dorsberg fan. I think she was really good um, as a sideline reporter. I think if they pushed her back to sideline reporter, it'd be fine. It'd be one thing she would have to want to do it, but I just don't think she's compelling enough. And I think I'm not saying this solely because of her. I watch a lot of games on mute because I just don't want. I don't care about the commentary enough. I really don't. I could care less about the commentary. The commentary makes me indifferent. I've been watching the game for 10 years. I know what's going on. Now, if there's like an out of bounds play, a challenge, I obviously turn the volume on to hear what they're talking about. But like this other stuff, I really don't care about. And it's not because Doris or anybody's bad. I just like a certain type. I think a lot of people like a certain kind of broadcast. People would rather hear smart, educated people. Not to say that Doris isn't smart and educated, but and unbiased almost, sort of unbiased, less unbiased than Doris, to talk about the game. One of my favorite duos was Richard Jefferson, who was on the call last night with Mike Breen, and JJ Redick, who is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a JJ Redick stan. I wish we could have gotten at least 2 or 3 years of him, but he decided to go coach. It's whatever. But I think it is a good sign that ESPN wants to restructure the roster for games and stuff. Because I feel like the duos are a bit skewed. They are a bit weird. It looks like I think Reggie Miller is going to Amazon or something. He's going to one of the other things, so he's not going to be there anymore. Um, Mike Breen, like they said, is obviously still there. Richard Jefferson is still there. So, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to bring new people in. I think they've waited a little bit too long to do that because with the new what's it called, TV deals, a lot of players and ex players and the good people have been taken by other networks. So ESPN's gonna have to make it wiggle, make it move a little bit differently. But I feel like they could probably get some good people, or just retain people and put them in different roles. Just wanted to mention that because that was something that was surrounding the NBA Finals, and uh, Coach Rick Carlisle for the Pacers came to Doris' defense. Listen, man, I will say this about the NBA, and this leads into our next conversation, a very quick conversation here. The NBA is a business at the end of the day, and ESPN, for what it's worth, hasn't always done the best thing about promoting the business. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, hasn't done the best at promoting the business. Made some mistakes on both sides. One of the biggest mistakes, one of my biggest gripes with ESPN as a company is allowing Kendrick Perkins, a bona fide fool, to talk about basketball and actually have a voice and actually seem like he's intelligent. To have given him a platform. It's for clicks. It's for TikTok. It's for Instagram Reels. I understand it from a business perspective, but for the culture of basketball, it's not good. I think you need smart people talking about the game, funny people to talk about the game, and to keep the game in a positive light and not just recycle the same old topics. Who's the GOAT? Who needs to step up next quarter, this game? Blah 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 blah. Right? And one of the other things that came up because the commissioner usually does a like a little press conference before the finals, to talk about how the season went, how the league's doing before the season ends. Because it could end in it could end in a week, it could end in 2 weeks. So I think the commissioner takes time to address the media, address people who want to ask questions. And Adam Silver had his press conference before the game yesterday, and this is from Front Office Sports. Adam Silver on the conversation around the NBA and its TV ratings, and I quote, "It seems a little unusual how much discussion there is around ratings in this league." Um, End quote. That's from Adam Silver, NBA commissioner. Um, I will say, I still am a Adam Silver defender. I think Adam Silver has done a great job. Has he been his predecessor, David Stern? No, David Stern ruled the NBA with an iron fist as commissioner and brought some very good things to the league. Did some questionable things towards the end of his tenure. God rest his soul. He's in a better place now. But the thing about to just address Adam's like question of a question or answer of a question, is people people talk about the TV ratings because people are concerned about the product. And diehard fans and people, even casual fans, like I talk to people who just watch the NBA casually or don't watch the NBA anymore for whatever specific reason. They don't catch the games as much as they used to. They complain about just like the smallest things. In the sense of the smallest things is just being why are we talking about this player? Why is it always the same topics? Who's this? Why is this person here? Oh, I didn't know that person played for this team. Blah blah. The NBA does such a bad, and this is not so much about the ratings because the ratings are what they are. The numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Um, it's more the fact of the NBA doesn't. I'm gonna use a word here that the kids use. The NBA doesn't have any aura anymore. It doesn't have any pizzazz. It doesn't have any razzle dazzle. It doesn't have that anymore. And it was so funny because Adam Silver says this, right, and then this is something minute, but it's notable because it's been a complaint for many years. Is that if you turned on last night's game and you're like, oh, I haven't watched the NBA all year. What's going on? You would think it's a regular season game. If you just saw it at the bar, right, and there's no volume on at the bar or whatever, right, you just see the game. Oh, this is a regular season game. Because you know why? Because there's no indication that's the finals. It's not on the score bug on the bottom. Is nowhere on the floor. They've completely rid the game, rid the the actual environment of NBA finals. It's nowhere on the court. It's on the I guess it's the thing holding up the basket. I forget what it's called, but is the padding that's on there has the finals logo and has the Larry O'Brien trophy on there. But nowhere on the court does it say NBA Finals. It doesn't have the Larry O'Brien trophy on the team's logo anymore. That's been long gone. People have been dying for that for years, and they said they got rid of it for player concern, and it was slipping. Players were slipping on it. But this is a tangent. Hold on here. Um, they got rid of it because players were slipping on stuff. But you have the NBA Cup now, and these courts are bright blue or bright yellow, and they have like the NBA Cup on it, and it is just so concerning that the NBA just doesn't have any pizzazz anymore. It doesn't have anything anymore. Like this is supposed to be the NBA Finals, you know. You wouldn't know it was the finals. There's nowhere on the floor. You got YouTube TV plastered on the baseline and on the sideline. Yeah, this is the YouTube finals, the YouTube NBA finals. Yeah, it's just crazy because like, not saying people would watch just for the court. People love nostalgia. Nostalgia sells. Give the people what they want, and that's what Adam Silver has done a terrible job at. And to Adam Silver's credit, he's tried to give people things they didn't know they wanted. He's tried to fix things. There's never a lack of trying with Adam Silver. It's the lack of not doing things that are obviously right there for the taking that he could obviously do to make people want to watch, engage with the league, um, and to a larger extent, to making the product more digestible for the average fan and making it more entertaining for the long term fan, like me, like other people who love this game, who've been watching this game for 10 plus years. Um, it's just so infuriating at times that like it's infuriating at every level in life, not just with the NBA. It's like we don't have the data as fans. We don't have the data. Sometimes it leaks out. Sometimes you figure out these things on your own. You have to do a deep dive yourself. And sometimes the information is inaccurate. Is like sort of passe. It's a little behind the ball. It's last year's, not this year's numbers. But I can't speak for everybody when I say I hate when people act dumb, when they act like they don't see it, when they act like they aren't on social media, but they obviously see it and they know what the people want and they just don't want to give it to them. Um, it's like it's funny. I'll make this point and then we'll get out of here. It's like the video game NBA 2K or Call of Duty, right? Or Madden, right? All video games. The trick is to take something away, right, and then put it back in and act like it's new and act like, oh, it's coming back, guys. Here you go. This is what you wanted, right? It's so stupid. Just leave it the way it is. Just leave it the way it is in the sense of what like it's I don't know. I'm gonna ramble. I don't want to ramble too long. But yeah, those are just some ending topics that I wanted to talk about at the end of the video. Some NBA news and stuff. Um, the Oklahoma City Thunder aren't going to sweep the Pacers. The Pacers again steal another game one. This time in Oklahoma on the biggest stage in the NBA. Um, I believe there was a 2-day break, so you won't get a video this weekend. So enjoy this video. Enjoy some other ones. I posted a lot before this. I'll put a card for the NBA hot topics in the top right corner. If you want to check out some hot topics, if you want to check out some WNBA stuff, we have a WNBA game on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, and then the NBA finals continue on Sunday at 8 p.m. on ABC. So I will see you guys at the latest on Monday. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.